Thanks for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and other important aspects of working for yourself or running your small business. So we've been asked if we can cover the basics of registering for VAT, what some of the things mean and what information you'll need to have to hand. Before I talk about that, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information should you need to, as well as finding other information that we have available on a whole wide range of topics that are designed to help you and support you in your self-employment. If you want to be notified when we upload new information, you should also turn on the notifications for our channel. So on to VAT registration then. So you've decided that you need to register for VAT. Either you've just started and you know that you either are going to exceed the threshold, or you've decided that voluntary registration is right for you, or perhaps you've been trading for a little while and as you've grown, now you realise that either you are going to exceed the threshold, you've already done so, hopefully not, because hopefully you were monitoring your turnover to know before it happened, or you've just decided that voluntary registration is right for you. So this will apply whether you are trading as a limited company or a sole trader. Either of those will be the same process. We talked in other videos about, regardless of whether you're trading as a limited company or a sole trader, having your government gateway set up, which will enable you to register for new taxes, as well as be able to access information on the taxes once you're registered for them. So the only difference to consider whether you're a limited company or a sole trader is who the VAT registered entity is. So if you remember, we've talked about previously, if you are trading as a limited company, you are creating a separate legal entity. And so therefore, if you are registering for VAT, it is the company that is registered for VAT. So if, for example, you have a company and that is registered for VAT, but as an individual, you have a completely different perhaps trade that you're operating as a sole trader, then that will mean that the two will be separate. So if you are trading as a sole trader and you register for VAT, you will be the VAT registered entity. So again, if you have your main business but you have something completely different that you do also as a sole trader, then if you register for VAT, anything you do will need to be subject to VAT at the appropriate rate. So you've got your government gateway account and you're coming to do the application. So there's a few things that you should give some thought to, that you should know that you're going to need to enter. So the first thing is the SIC code. So this is standard industry classification code, and that is a code that defines what your business does. So if this is new to you, you may not know what your standard industry code is. I'm going to pop in the description a link to the section of gov.uk where you can actually search by your actual trade and by what you're actually doing to find out what your SIC code is. So you should find that out before you come to do your application for VAT registration. It could be that you have more than one are appropriate, then the other thing that you will need to give some thought to is your projections for what you actually anticipate to be doing in terms of your turnover within the next 12 months. So this can cause a little bit of confusion. It's important, firstly, to remember that what you're being asked is for your projected turnover within the next 12 months. It's a projection, it's an estimate, and that is just what you need to do. You need to estimate, and it doesn't really matter if then that isn't what actually happens, as long as you can justify that you've given a reasonable estimate of what you expect the projection. So the projection, obviously you're doing an application for VAT, so whether it's on a voluntary basis or not, you're registering for VAT. So the only thing that could be affected is if your projection is too low and you want to use a particular scheme, it may be that your turnover means that you're not eligible to be able to join that scheme. So once you've got your information together and you've had a think about what turnover you expect to carry out, of course, we always talk about planning and cash flow, and you would expect anyway, at whatever point, whether you're at the start or in the middle of running your business, that you would have a cash flow. So you should already have a reasonable idea of what you expect your turnover to be. And then you would also need to be thinking about if you're going to be doing any zero rated sales or any exempt sales. Those are the sort of questions that HMRC are going to be asking in the VAT application, and also whether you're expecting regular repayments of VAT. So that means that when you declare your VAT on your quarterly returns, assuming you do quarterly, then if what you're reclaiming in VAT is higher than what you're paying out, then that would result in a refund. So there's obviously quite a few scenarios that may put you in that position. And again, this is just to give HMRC an idea when they're assessing your VAT application of what you're expecting to be doing, so they can check their end that you meet the criteria, and then they can have an idea of what they're expecting to see in your trading as that goes forward in your returns. So hopefully, if you look at those and give thought to those few things before you actually log in to do the application, that should make it very straightforward. Apart from that, you're just going to need the details of the personal details of the director or the sole trader who is going to be responsible for the VAT. So hopefully this gives you a little idea of what you need to gather together and what you need to do to actually process your VAT application. Thank you very much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, please do take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Goodbye.